Right guys, welcome back to another episode of The Purpose Project, where we find out why people do what they do, how they do it, and then hopefully inspire you guys to take action with it. Today I'm with Mike Logue, who runs a gym called Athlete out here in Dubai. Now we know each other from Manchester, don't we?
Back in the urban reform days.
Yeah, back in UR days. But then Mike's obviously, you've come out into Dubai, you run this now.
Yeah.
And I personally think that you've got quite an interesting story on what you've done and how you've done it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who will watch this either from Manchester or in Dubai, or people aspiring to be out here who might be wondering, how do you do something this good so soon? So I think it'll be good to find out a bit on that. But before we get into it, a little bit on you, mate, who you are, you know, what you do. If you want to run through that, that'd be great.
Yeah, so Michael Logue, some people may know me from Manchester, some people may know me from being at Urban Reform previously. But moved out to Dubai less than 2 years ago, coming up to 2 years in April. My background before sort of where I was, starting from, if we go all the way back to be fair, I was in the Royal Marines for 5 years, was a mountain leader in the Marines and was a surveillance and reconnaissance expert. So I was part of a recce team up at 4-5 recce troop. Left the Marines, came out the Marines, went back into what I was kind of doing previously to that, which was carpentry. Great job, lovely weather.
I just find it mad, like obviously, like you do that, you've done that, but who you are now and what you do now, it's such a contrast. Isn't it?
So some people won't know that there was. Some people obviously know that I was in the Marines, but some people didn't know that I was then. Like I was a carpenter before the Marines, and then I came out and was doing carpentry after the Marines for a good few years. And then my now wife Dom, I met her just before coming out of the Marines. And to be fair, all of this kind of snowballed from her really. So she was obviously a corporate lawyer, and she knows Dean obviously well. And she just used to work silly hours, so it meant that I wasn't seeing her much in the evening. So it meant that I was getting home at 3:30 in the afternoon. So you can't be finishing work at 3:30 when your wife is working till.
For anyone who knows Dom though, she is like non-stop.
Yeah, she's non-stop. Yeah, she's full of energy all the time. Yeah, like, good energy as well. So then I think I approached you guys, or I knew Dean and had a conversation. Came down, started doing classes and started doing some PT out of Urban Reform, which was great. And that was kind of. And I remember the conversation I had with you and Dean when I first came in. I was like, I don't think I'd be able to go full time. I don't think I'd do that well. Blah blah blah. And worked there, continued on, and just continuing on. I can't remember how long I was there. I think it was there like over a year.
Yeah, it was over a year. It was over a year.
Continued on with my full-time job being a carpenter, and then basically Dom got an opportunity to move out to Dubai. She came on secondment from Squires in Manchester out here, which is the law firm she works for. And then I was like, nope, absolutely not. I was like, not going to Dubai. I was like, not my scene, not gonna like it. Come back in 6 months, we'll carry on. I'll carry on being a carpenter. And then I think 3 months in, I was like, I need to go out. So I quickly followed out, came out, got a freelance visa. So if you come out to Dubai, you either need to get sponsored or you need to sponsor yourself in a sense. So freelance visa is basically how it works out here. So I got a freelance visa. That basically allowed me the freedom to kind of go around, see where I wanted to work, and basically just didn't mean that I was sponsored by one particular company, so I wasn't stuck with that one company. Got offered loads of opportunities when I came out here, which was quite lucky, and I kind of just did that. If you're ever coming out to Dubai and you want to know how to approach the fitness space, the best way is to just get in front of people, go to gyms, speak to people, speak to as many people as you can, get front facing. Nobody's going to listen to you if you send them your CV. Like, you just want to get into gyms, meet people, go try workouts, try different things. So that's what I did. Got loads of different opportunities, like Barry's, F45, and started working.
Yeah, because you worked at a few different places, didn't you, when you actually come out here? Yeah.
So I started training to become a Barry's trainer, which again, some people might not know. Quickly realised that my monotone voice and my energy level is not what is needed to be a Barry's trainer. And I was like, I'm chasing the wrong dream here, it's not me. So decided to give that in and became director of F45, basically running their events and competitions and doing coaching for them. I worked at another company as well, and basically was just working between them both. And then, I'll tell you, it's a long old story, isn't it?
No, but the mad thing is like, people are obviously going to find out, but it's not even in that long of a time frame.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a short time frame. This is within 2 years, isn't it, realistically?
Yeah, so, and then I got to about a year in, I ended up leaving, left basically one of the companies that I was working for. That ended all very abruptly, and then I basically was kind of without a gym, so to speak. But I had a massive community, a massive following of people sort of wanting to know what I was doing, where I was going next, and then kind of got approached by a lot of people to sort of invest into a gym, and just found the right people. So Omar and Fadi are my business partners, found the right people, and we found this location in April.
Yep.
Which again is mad because that was a year into being in Dubai, so only a year into being in Dubai. Found the location, and then from there basically worked on it, came up with all the design images. We designed everything from top to bottom, picked out how we wanted the gym format to be in terms of everything. If you come to the gym, you'll see that everything's movable, interchangeable, so we can kind of have that freedom and flexibility with the room, because it's not a huge space, but I can manage it very well.
But the fact that you can manage, so we've been here training since we got here, and the fact that you can manage 40 odd people within this space, like, you have designed it in that way, it is possible to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And the quality of the class is still really high.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, we only take the sort of level of class in terms of numbers to a certain level, just to keep the quality control. So during the week it's a little bit smaller, weekends are a little bit bigger, but still managed to sort of keep that quality, as you say. So yeah, got this location in April, and then our contractors in Dubai, so everything kind of, I say it took time, but it didn't really take time because it was
when you told me, I was like, that's so quick.
It was an empty it was an empty warehouse, so what you see around here, it was just empty. We had the mezzanine floor, but all the walls inside, there was nothing. And we opened on July the 7th. So a few months, which now I look back on it, it was quick. At the time when I was sat in the cafe watching them, I was like, this is taking forever. And 6 months in, it was 6 months a couple of weeks ago, and it's going.
Oh.
And it's going very, very well.
Can you sort that, or?
Yeah.
We'll leave this in the podcast though, because it'd be a nice little
curve
interlude in the middle.
I think must be breathing. That's the speakers.
I know. Yeah. At least you can hear the quality.
Can't remember where we're up to now. So 6 months in, and it's going better. It's going as good as I thought it would go. Like I was confident in how well it would do, but it's always nice to see it actually come to life and actually be as good as it is. And I think it's only going to get better, to be honest. So,
well, I mean, someone like yourself, obviously, I don't know. I'm asking you a question there. You seem like you obviously do have high standards, and you want to achieve, and you want to push, and so I'm guessing for you, like, even though, like me as an outsider, I come in, see the space blown away. Like, obviously, people can check it out online, can't they? Can see what it actually looks like. But then you as a person, like, you know, even though your classes might be full and it is really busy, you're still going to be striving for progress, aren't you? Because you just seem to be that guy.
I think it's always nice that it has kind of happened organically. Like, we haven't had to smash marketing, we haven't had to really push. It's kind of been quite organic in terms of growth, which is nice, and it's definitely not that easy as well in Dubai with the amount of gyms there are to kind of do that. So in a sense, you know, been lucky with kind of how everything's happened, but also there has been a lot of hard work, and you know, like, there's a lot of behind the scenes constant work, and even Dom, who works a full-time job, like, she does so much. Like, if ever you see any of the social media and you think it looks creative, It's not from.
Yeah, that's Dom. Yeah, because when we went to the we went
me.
and done the run club session, didn't we, on Thursday?
Yeah.
And then Dom straight away was like group photo at the beginning, then group photo at the end, and then she was just on it completely.
Yeah, but I still personally hate social media, hate the camera and stuff like that. But it needs to be done. It's like a necessary evil, unfortunately, to what you need to do to kind of grow. So. No, it's in terms of how we're doing and progressing forward. I think we're certainly going in the right direction, and we'll see where we're at in a year and then go from there. But it's good.
No, yeah, mate. Honestly, like coming over and seeing it, like I've obviously seen it online, and then seeing it in person and the way it's been designed, and you know, I've even taken inspiration for when I go back for urban reform. You know, me and Dean were chatting the other day, and I was like, we need to get rid of all our racks now.
I remember you
like,
saying.
It's just simple things like that where it's like it's so innovative but in simple that can make a complete difference to the space. It changes it completely. And
it's just I think having that movability factor can just, and it doesn't, because they're on wheels, it's not like it takes a lot
take
to
ages.
transform the room from going into one sort of compound lift to then just completely change it and ready for some sweaty finisher.
Yeah, because when you touched on it before, you said about how the whole like feel of what you want people to feel like when they come in, how it looks, how it's laid out. The design of the space clearly speaks that from the second you step through the door. So I think it's good that you've actually like nailed that. I think the branding of the name as well. Like, I think people come here because they want to progress and they want to do well. You know, there's obviously, like you say, there's hundreds of gyms in Dubai. You know, we've been to a fair few since being over here, but people seem to come here because they want to achieve something. They're not just coming because it's a gym session. It's because they want to achieve these certain goals or progress or be pushed further. And they want to do it with something that has integrity as well. You've got integrity as like you as a person. Like obviously people might not know, but you know what you've done with your own competing in fitness, you know what you've achieved there. People will look at that and see that as, oh, I want to be trained off someone who's that focused on their training, that structured. It helps a lot, doesn't it? Yeah,
and I think I've never looked towards the aesthetic of training. I've always looked towards the performance, and the byproduct of that is your aesthetic is going to hopefully follow as long as everything's kind of in line. And you know, you kind of keep into some sort of like rule in terms of how you live your lifestyle and balance. But I think the premise of the gym and why it does so well is obviously we have an incredible community which is slowly building. And I think Dubai is one place where there's so many expats, so many different people from different countries, different religions, different backgrounds, but everybody to a certain extent wants the same thing, wants to achieve and wants to be better in some way. And I think having a structure in terms of where and the reason I believe Hyrux has done so well and the reason this is doing so well is just having something that's measurable in terms of the structure that we have with the programming. It's 6-week cycles. You test at the start of the 6 weeks and you basically follow a progressive cycle, and at the end of the 6 weeks you test again. You know, at the end of the day, if you're improving by 5% every time on your lifts over the year and you're being consistent, you're becoming a better athlete. If you go into a gym and you're just doing random weights, random workouts, sporadic, you're seeing no form of progression, so you're struggling to see what benefit you are making. And that's great because there's an element of obviously smashing yourself and burning calories and doing this, but there'll become a point where you're like, well, am I still seeing progression? And I think that's why Hyrux does so well, and people keep coming back for more, it's data driven. You can see how you did on every station, time based, and then you can look at it and you can race pretty much every weekend of the year if you wanted to, and keep sort of looking at it consistently and seeing how you're getting on. So
it's like the other thing about Hyrux, and I've spoke about this a lot with people, is like the MVP of it, like the minimum viable product. They set up such a simple race. Like realistic, it is simple.
Yeah, really simple.
So, and from that makes it, like you say, accessible. It's easy to do. It's easy for somebody who might not be into fitness and looking to get into it can start on a journey like that. But then you've got somebody like yourself who's competing at a much higher level where you can still push boundaries and be part of bigger competitions. So it's very rare that you come across something that caters so well towards such a diverse audience. And if you look at people who compete in Hyrux, the majority of them aren't within the hour mark.
Yeah.
You know, the majority is going to be between like 1:30 to 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
You know, and that's you've got thousands of people who is like general public, general level of fitness doing this.
Yeah.
But they do have the opportunity to progress further. It seems like within your gym, you've got a similar model where you go, you know, you could come in as a absolute newbie, we test you, see where you're at, you're going to follow this 6-week cycle, we test you again, and who knows, in 6 months, in a year, you know, you could be competing at a higher level, but no matter what, you're going to be better anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's mad, I still find it mad, like we've got a race in Bangkok which just got released in May, and I think there's 45 people from the gym flying from
Dubai,
here? Flying from
You're
Dubai,
joking?
Flying from Dubai to Bangkok for a race. We did Poland recently, we did Poland in November and there was 30. Obviously Bangkok sounds a better destination. So
I know, yeah, than Poland,
so
yeah.
45 people that are booked and going so far. That's mad. Which is mad.
Because it's the difference. So like when we've got like loads of people competing over the weekend in Manchester,
nice.
But like that's local.
Yeah.
We've had like the most we've had compete at an event that's, you know, not local to us. Let's say it's Birmingham or London, is like 60 people. But even then, like to get somebody on a plane to go to a different country, like.
I think to be fair, I think the UK luckily has massive accessibility. Like, there's a lot of races there. Middle East, Hyrox Middle East. You've only done one race this year and it's not happened yet.
No, so. Yeah, more needs to be done about that here. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. But yeah, mate. So what else I wanted to move on to is obviously we found out a bit about who you are there, your background. One of the key questions that I have is around like the catalyst. So it sounded like, you know, you touched on, you know, you're in the Marines, but you were doing Carpenter before that. Yeah. What was the catalyst to get into like this fitness, if that makes sense? Yeah. So you, because obviously that's your passion, it's your interest. Where did that first spark start that then led on to where you are right now?
Yeah, so I think, to be honest, I think the spark has always been there.
Right.
But I think
even when you were a kid, you always done fitness.
Yeah, so even when I was a kid, I did, you know, I played like first team football, first team rugby.
Yeah.
Like running all the time and stuff like that. So I was always playing sport. I think the spark was always there, but I was in an environment whereby it was, you go to university, you do your degree, you get a job, blah blah blah. And I think when you're sort of pressured into that, you kind of think that's what you should be doing and that's what you need to do, and that's how life goes. And I still, like, as I said about the conversation I had with you and Dean, when I was like, I don't think I can do it, I don't think I can make a living from it, I don't think it's sustainable for me. But so that was always a blocker. And I think sometimes, the reason why it's worked out how it's worked out is having my back against the wall, coming to somewhere, not knowing anyone, not knowing anything, come into a place, you've got to make it work, you've got to dig deep, and you've got to do as best you can. And I think being in that environment, sometimes when your back's against the wall, is sometimes the best time to make progress. I've like had that whilst I've been here, like obviously moving out here, my back was against the wall, I had to make good of what I was. Yeah. And then I had that when I was like left without a gym when I was out here within like a year, and I didn't have anywhere to go, didn't have any work at the time, and my back was against the wall then, and I came out even better again. So I think sometimes people always see the negatives in sort of, you know, when something's going bad in your life, but sometimes it's the best thing, sometimes it's just the next chapter's coming and it's going to be bigger and better. But I think perseverance and just working hard. But I do believe that if I were to go back to like my younger self, I would have just gone all in on fitness
from day one.
Even like the Marines was great. It was incredible. Made me who I am today. Made me so resilient, hard working, like just having integrity, and all the qualities that it kind of puts in you. But I think going backwards, I'm still happy I did that, but I probably would have gone just all in for fitness. And I think it's difficult. I think there's so many jobs out there, isn't there? So much stuff you can do, but yeah, it's all works out.
I think with your journey there, like obviously there's different lenses to look at it through. I think from what you said, from being interested in fitness as a kid, you were always bound to be on this anyway. Yeah. But in a strange way, like you say, sometimes going into those other experiences then give you the tools that you need to do something like this.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, like you say, being in the Marines taught you the integrity and the structure and the routine and so on. If you were managing teams within that, then you actually get used to communicating with people, making sure you're a leader and people are on board. You get a lot of qualities from that then allow you to run something, well, an operation like this successfully. Whereas without that, it becomes extremely hard. And so I'm guessing you've still picked up a lot of skills from what you've done back then.
Yeah, I think so. And I think almost sometimes coming into the industry a little bit older, or in a different, having that change of lifestyle as well, I think probably makes you a little bit hungry as well.
Yeah. You got. It sounds like you got a good life experience overall.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, when you said that before, I remember when we had that conversation about you saying, "Oh, I don't really know whether it's going to work."
Yeah.
I remember me and Dean leaving it and thinking, "He's mad.
Yeah.
Like, how could that not work?" Do you get what I mean? We were just thinking like it would, but then a big thing there is like self-belief. You had to go into a different environment where you didn't have anything really. You basically, like you say, your back's against the wall. You've had to then go whatever gives you the motivation to turn up in the morning and just get shit done in the discipline. You've had to cling on to that and then pursue something and make it work for yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's a quality that from the conversations that I've had so far, sitting down and interviewing people, anyone who seems to be doing well and achieving what they want to achieve, it's just a quality that seems to align in every single person that is on their path of what they want to do. So let me ask you the question then around, because obviously we figured out a bit of the catalyst, figured out who you are, what you do. Do you have something that you cling on to as your purpose, as like what drives you? Is there a thing that you cling on to? Is there like a focus that you have, something there?
I'd like to say there is a massive focus. I don't think I have something that I'm solely focused on as such. I think being better just generally, like looking to be better as a person, as an athlete, as a business owner, being better for clients, just being better generally, make it like, and that comes down to, that's like everything in terms of, that's every aspect of, fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, relationships, friendships, like all that sort of stuff. I think being better generally across the board and trying to be better, and even if we talk about the gym, for example, like making sure that the programming is better than it was last week. There's more time put into it, making sure that the client experience is better week in, week out, making sure that there's more community events, that there's more exciting things for clients to buy into and people to enjoy. I think that, and I think in just general, your own training and wanting to be better and wanting to excel in that. I think generally, if purpose as such, I think just being better than I was yesterday.
So that is your driver, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's So I like that, because like I can really resonate with that.
Yeah.
I've always been someone, even from early days in school, trying to figure out how I can become better in some way, shape or form. I feel like I had to do a lot of time figuring out, like, because the way I work is very much through clearly understanding something verbally. So if I can say it, then I'm like, I can live it then and breathe it. So I'd spend a lot of time with pursuing ways to figure out what is my purpose, why am I doing this. If I don't have a clear defining reason of why I do things, then it makes it very hard for me to say yes and no to things. It's like decisiveness sort of goes out the window, and it's like I'm not very clear and focused, I don't have much resolve. Whereas through taking the time to figure out what my purpose is around self-development, like for you being better on a daily basis, it sounds like that 1% better mentality. You've got small changes in all areas of your life every single day to offer more value to yourself and other people.
Exactly that, and I think if you look at it from, you're just your everyday person, at the end of the day, that all that anyone can do is, if you compare yourself to anyone, if I compare myself to an Olympic runner, yes, we're like, for example, the higher athletes, or like professional athletes, yes, people are quick, but then you look at people on the absolute other end of the spectrum that are these elite Olympians, you're nowhere near. So you can't compare yourself to anyone. So it's all about, and that's why just having that sort of belief of just doing better than you were last week or doing better than you were yesterday and trying to excel in that way, that's all anyone can do. We're all different. We've all got a different sort of height, weight, background. We all move differently in the gym, everything like that. So you can never fully compare yourself to anyone, and I think that's probably the best way to live by, is just be better than you were yesterday and continue that on as a cycle every day. And, you know, naturally look at where you'll be at in a year, look at where you'll be at in 2 years, 5 years. You'll be a completely different person.
Because to some people, that's like they can they see that as a negative, don't they? They've got the comparison. It's really stressful. It, you know, it creates a lot of anxiety for them. But in a weird way, it's kind of like, well, that's your superpower. That's what makes you so good, because you've got this opportunity to compare to yourself on a regular basis. But how do you how have you developed that mentality? Because I'd say that isn't a mentality that just you're not born with that. That's something that's created over time.
Yeah, I think going back to where I was, I think I've always had a massive fear of failure. So I think I've always had a big fear of failure. Don't like failing. I don't like not doing well and stuff. And I think fitness has been a massive focus. And then going into the Marines was one of those where like mindset is everything. Like you can be the fittest guy in the world, and usually the biggest, the fittest looking guys were the ones that probably like left early. And I think being in an environment where you have no choice, you're like, again, but to just push through and persevere and just grit your teeth and try and just do better. Even when you think you've got no energy and you can still push through. I think that's where it comes from. I think having that grit and determination of like, failure is not an option. So there's nothing else you can do. And I think if you have that in a lot of things in life, is it's not even on the cards. There's no like maybe about it. If it's not even on the cards, it's not an option. You don't even think of it. Then, and it's all that inner dialogue. We all have it. We all, when we go into a workout, we're 10 burpees in, and we've got maybe another 10 to go, and your head is just going, fuck this. Absolutely not. But you just having a bit of inner dialogue, being like, all right, just a coping mechanism to get through it and moving through it. I think that's where it kind of comes from. No, I completely agree, mate. I completely agree. I think as well, like, I think anyone can attain that mindset as well. I think it's just about just training your mind.
You know, go on, sorry, mate. Go on.
You don't just that mindset isn't just given to you. It's not like everyone has that mindset. You could get people that have a weaker mindset, or have a mindset where they do give up that a little bit easily, but progressing over time, and again giving yourself goals that are actually attainable and actually achievable, then you can actually find a way to kind of build that mindset up, and then you get to a point where you just do it. Like, because I think in everything that you do, it's like you see more people getting into running. People that end up not liking running or don't enjoy it are people that have basically gone in full throttle, have ran a K in the quickest time possible, and they're trying to do
full send,
and they're trying to full send, and they're trying to do 5K, and they're like,
that's well hard.
I'm absolutely done it. It's like, well, you're running at my pace. You're running at my 5K PB pace. 1K. So I think taking it in bite-sized chunks and actually just slowly building it up and build that mindset, build that physical sort of prowess is probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, definitely. So what then around, let's say, future plans for you? Because obviously you touched on before, see how things go. Have you got anything in mind that you're working towards? Or is it very much just that mindset, what you've described a minute ago? It's just to be better. Or do you have something you're trying to achieve?
So I want to be part of the Powerhouse Elite 15. I want to get into that, and I think I can, to be honest. Like, it's not a stupid belief to think that I can't. I think getting some more race under my belt and staying injury free, which is and it's everyone's problem. It's not just mine. It's everyone has the same thing as well. So I think I've obviously focused so much on the gym the last year, so to speak, from the moment we got the warehouse to now, focusing over the next year, just really trying to get race fit and be fit, and try and, you know, put all my eggs in one basket and try and become that athlete that I know I can be. That's one. That's personal. In terms of business, there's lots of stuff that I want to do over the next year. Things that I can say and things that I can't say, but things that I can say is like I want to organise a big event. I want to do a fitness event here at some point, some sort of a competition. We'll do that, and then I want to do something on a bigger scale. And then there's plenty of other stuff coming in the future. But
nice.
I think for now it's just continuing to make the clients happy that are currently here, continuing to build that community and continuing to just grow it as it seems to be doing. So I think I never want to get too big that it loses the feel it has now. That connection with people.
Because you do have a really good community.
Yeah.
I mean, we went on a run this morning with one of our old members from Urban Reform, and we literally spoke about this gym for about 30 minutes.
Nice.
So I expect, because she's looking for a good community within, and she's been to a load of gyms in Dubai, and she's like,
I'll have to get a name after this.
Honestly, she 100% wants it, but it's like, this is the thing, it's a very, it sounds like, people probably think it could be common, but it's not actually that common to get a very welcoming community.
No.
You know, when you walk through a door and a member is the one who actually is proactively greeting you when you're new, that's an amazing thing to have.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you are coming in a setting and you don't feel like, you know, you're going to be left on your own and somebody's going to support you, it's very rare to get that. There's a lot of places where you can go where that isn't a thing.
Yeah, and I think it trickles down from like your client experience from the get-go, as you say, from coming in. I think I still to this day keep going, still not got a single knobhead in it.
Yeah.
Still not one.
Yeah.
I'm like bloody baffled.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I thought it was full of it in Dubai. But everyone that's in this space anyway
is great, aren't they?
So I think it trickles down from the top to the bottom in terms of, you know, the receptionists are absolutely lovely, the cleaners are great,
yeah.
coaches are great. So yeah, I think it's a nice place to be, and
Definitely.
The clients are unbelievable. So
definitely. And then the final thing that I wanted to ask then is around, you know, you've achieved this and you've obviously got what you want to do in the future. What are the key sort of take homes for you in terms of like what are your staples that you practice on a regular basis? Are there any key habits? Have you got any key things that you feel like contribute to you being who you are and doing what you do that other people can take away?
I wish somebody asked me this just at a retreat recently, and someone asked me like, what's your like daily routine, like what do you do when you wake up in the morning? And I was like, because you see it all on Instagram now, don't you? Like, this guy gets up, does 5 minutes ice bath, does
that routine,
does journal, does meditation, does this, and I was like, to be honest, I cram in as much sleep as I can, get up as late as I can to then get to the gym. No, to be fair, in terms of routine, I don't have a sort of set routine of how I do stuff at the minute. At the minute it's, because it is all guns blazing kind of at the minute, it's kind of just get training in when you can get training in, get food in when you get food in, and stuff like that. That's probably why I keep getting injured and probably not doing as well this year. I think I don't have any necessary things that I do on a daily basis that kind of do that. I think it's just working hard consistently, and I probably need to get into. I keep saying this. I've said this in another podcast. I need to get into a better routine with stuff. But I am slowly. I've got Liam that's just come on board from Manchester. Bree, who is funnily enough also from Manchester.
Yeah, Liam's great.
But they're incredible coaches, so they take stuff off my plate, and now it's a bit better, and hopefully that sort of coaching team will continue to grow as well. So
I've noticed that as well, just on the coaches, like you say, Bree and Liam, the quality when they're delivering as well. You've also got a really good team in here. You know, in the introduction of the class was great when I was obviously doing the Saturday send, and that's what I said to Jem after the session. I was like, it's really like structured and organised, and like you say, it does seep down, it comes in from it. But yeah, sorry, but on that then, I feel like your thing, what you do is, and obviously correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like when you work, you work. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? And when you rest, you rest. Yeah. And that'd be my take home from you. Is that if you're going to do something, failure's not an option. Get stuck in, go all into it. Yeah. And then if you're relaxing and you're doing your own thing, chill the fuck out. Yeah. Don't do anything in between, and then you'll be good to turn up and do the work the next day.
Yeah, exactly. I think you've got to go all in sometimes, and just put all your eggs in one basket and push and see what happens. I think I always get people asking me like, should I do this? Like, they want to leave their job, they're not sure about leaving it. Should I? Like, if you're passionate enough and you are hardworking enough, you can go off and
Yeah,
do
you
what
can
want.
do it.
Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can do
yeah,
it. Like
yeah.
there's enough freedom in the world now, and especially in a place like Dubai, there's so much opportunity.
Yeah.
If you are willing and to work hard and put the work in, like you can achieve whatever you want to achieve out there.
Yeah, it's like that. It's an abundance mentality, isn't it? There's so much out there for everyone, but it's only there for the people who actually want to take the opportunity and go for it. But yeah, mate, that's all my questions.
Pleasure.
That was absolutely mint. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
How
much.
are people going to find you? Is go and type in Athlete Dubai? Is that all they've got to do?
So if you go on Instagram, it's athletefitness.ae. My own personal Instagram is Michael Logue Fitness. You can find us on the website as well, athletefitness.ae. I think that's it.
Yeah, anyone travelling from Manchester is going to have to come here.
Yeah, if you
any reform clients are getting told to come here.
Yeah, I think we've got some boys from Manchester coming out next week as well. I think but if you're from anywhere in the UK, not just Manchester.
You got to get
in.
it.
If you're from Manchester,
definitely get it. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. Cheers. Right, guys. So that's it for that episode. I'll be back again very soon with another interesting one. I've got some really cool people lined up. Like Mike said, if you want to find him, you can find him on athlete.ae, or you can go and search on Google and get him there. If you want to message me and get his details, I can fire him over. Apart from that, I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Legend, mate. Thank you so much for that.